Hey guys, welcome back. Oh, hold on. Hello there, and welcome back to my channel. So in recent news, the Fandom Menace is mad about something. And fire is hot. What else is new? In recent news revolving around Star Wars, certain events have happened that has a certain portion of the fan base, namely the Fandom Menace in particular, fairly upset at the responses Lucasfilm and Star Wars has made towards some of the criticisms they've received about their latest show, Kenobi. And there always seems to be this sort of missed logic that people tend to overlook in conversations like these that I want to dive into and really flesh out for you guys and get you to understand the situation a little bit. So let's get into the situation itself by actually talking about what was said by Lucasfilms that has a certain portion of the fan base so upset in regards to criticism towards one of the actors in the Kenobi series known as Moses Ingram, who plays one of the Inquisitors, namely the third sister in the Kenobi series. Star Wars had this to say: "We are proud to welcome Moses Ingram to the Star Wars family and excited for Reva's story to unfold. If anyone intends to make her feel in any way unwelcomed, we have one thing to say: we resist." Followed by, "There are more than 20 million sentient species in the Star Wars galaxy. Don't choose to be a racist." Which has YouTubers like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers very upset. Now here's the situation with comments like these that Star Wars and Lucasfilm has made. Because they've made the claim that making someone feel uncomfortable, behaving toxically, or saying something that is racist is completely unacceptable. And for some reason, people of the Fandom Menace have come huffing out of the woodworks to furiously type into their computers that having an opinion does not necessarily make them toxic or racist. Which, at face value, what we should all be able to maturely agree upon is that is absolutely true, at face value. Simply sharing your opinion is not racist. However, how you voice those opinions, how you voice your criticisms, can make things a little bit more debatable. But let's dive into this even further, because Lucasfilm has even provided the very comments of which they are criticizing, many of which are very toxic, rude, and yes, could even be called racist. Which is what brings me to my issue with the Fandom Menace being so outraged and feeling so called out by Lucasfilm, saying specifically that these comments and behavior is unacceptable and racist and toxic. Because if we re-look at the comments of what they say, Lucasfilm specifies that toxic, racist comments are completely unacceptable, while simultaneously not naming anyone specifically, but also showing the specific comments that they've had issue with. They're not calling out the Fandom Menace, they're not calling out any side of things, any group of people, just specifically these specific commenters that had these objectively very rude, very insensitive, and very toxic, and yes, arguably fairly racist things to say. And for some reason, members of the Fandom Menace felt so personally called out and attacked that they came scurrying out of the woodworks to furiously type onto their computers that their opinion, they're attacking our opinions. You know, that reminds me of a phrase from, I believe it was Hamlet, that went something along the lines of, "Doth protest too much," which, if I'm correct, translates to something along the lines of, don't protest so much that it looks suspicious when you do. And frankly, I really don't know what looks more suspicious when Lucasfilms goes out of their way to express their distaste for racist comments, shows examples of what they deem as racist and toxic comments, and out of nowhere, completely unnamed and not called out in any way by Lucasfilm, here comes the Fandom Menace leading the charge as they put their hands on their hips and wags a finger in everyone's faces to tell you our opinions are not racist and toxic. I honestly don't know how else to classify that other than perhaps maybe a guilty conscience getting the better of you? But perhaps some of you don't know how this works, so allow me to explain to some of you how expressing your opinion differs from saying something toxic or racist. Okay? Expressing your opinion is voicing your thoughts in a manner that does not indicate in any way what you're saying is objective fact. A toxic opinion would be you commenting something along the lines of, "You're the worst actor I've ever seen in my life. You're just a token black minority force-fed into this narrative." And why is that toxic? Because you don't have to attack, you don't have to be nasty, you don't have to word it like that when you can choose to comment, "I just don't like the direction Kenobi's been going. I don't really have any interest in this character. She just doesn't seem that interesting to me." You can voice how you voice your opinion indicates if it's just an opinion or if you're saying something toxic. And if you're saying something toxic and getting called out for it, that's not you being attacked. That's people brave enough to call you out on your bullshit and you being offended because you don't get to get away with it anymore. Which is also funny because for me personally, I've never really had this issue. I've never heard anyone go, "I just really hate these racist comments white people have said." I don't get personally offended at that because I don't personally I don't intentionally say anything deliberately and maliciously racist or ignorant. Full granted, I've more than likely said that in my time in one way, shape, or form. My bad. So for any of you out there who, you might not agree with the direction Star Wars has taken or Disney has taken with Star Wars, whatever you want to call it, but you fully don't agree with what has been said with the Fandom Menace, if this has made you realize, opened your eyes, maybe you look at them in a different way where it's like you really didn't need to come out of nowhere and tie yourself with these comments that no one said, no one was pointing at you, and you just immediately attached yourself to that by protesting too much about it. So I don't feel like I can stand with you, but technically speaking, I agree with a lot of your assessments on things with the direction that Star Wars has taken. You don't have to tie yourself with those groups of people. You can completely stand on your own or with other people who can maturely express their opinion in a mature and adult sort of way without staying on the sinking ship of the Fandom Menace. And in fact, that would do far more to show the more mature side of those who don't like the direction Star Wars has been going without you being looped in with the same people who make these kind of comments. And for those of you out there who find absolutely nothing wrong with the comments that Disney and Lucasfilms have specifically shown you they have issue with and think that's completely acceptable and not at all toxic, well, I think Ian McGregor said it best.
That we stand with Moses. We love Moses. And if you're sending her bullying messages, you're no Star Wars fan in my mind. There's no place for racism in this world. And I totally stand with Moses.